Listen to me. Starting is easy. Anybody can get excited. Anybody can talk big. Anybody can post about their new goal. But I'm telling you, the real difference, the secret weapon is in the finishing. When you finish, you prove to yourself that your word means something. You stop being a dreamer and you become a doer. You can't buy that kind of confidence. It's built every time you push through to the end. I know what some of you do. You start one thing, it gets hard, you drop it. Then you start something else. And guess what? You're building a habit of quitting. And quitting steals your belief faster than failure ever could. But when you finish, when you fight through the boring days, the tired mornings, the I don't feel like it nights, you create a record in your mind that says, I keep my promises to myself. And when you believe that, there's nothing you can't do. Finishing changes your reputation. People stop seeing you as the person who tries things. They start seeing you as the person who gets it done. And when opportunities come knocking, they're coming to the finisher every single time. Here's the truth, the reward, the growth, the transformation. It's all waiting at the finish line. Not at the start, not halfway through, at the end. So stop quitting early. Stop living in almost. Decide right now. Every goal you set, you will finish. Because finishing isn't just an action, it's an identity. And once you become a finisher, your whole life changes. If you want, I can also give you a punchy, Eric Thomas-style closing line that would hit hard for a video ending. Would you like me to add that? Start strong, finish stronger. That's the difference between the ones we talk about and the ones we forget. Starting is easy. It's that rush, that hype, that feeling when you've got the idea fresh in your hand, your vision is crystal clear. You're posting about it, you're telling your friends, you're buying the new gear, setting up your plan. Everybody's clapping for you because you took the first step. But hear me, nobody's giving out medals for starting. There's no glory in being halfway there. Champions are remembered because they crossed the finish line. See, starting takes motivation, but finishing takes discipline. Anybody can sprint at the sound of the gun. But what about mile 10 when your legs are screaming? What about the late nights when you're tired? The mornings when the alarm goes off and you feel like you got nothing left in the tank? That's where most people fall off. That's where the excitement fades and the grind begins. And that's where you decide, are you just another starter or are you built to finish? Finishing is what separates people who have potential from people who made history. Potential is just a seed. Finishing is the harvest. And if you can't push through the dirt, if you can't endure the storms, if you can't hold on long enough to see the result, you'll never taste the fruit of your labor. You've got to understand, when you finish, you're not just completing a task, you're training your identity. Every time you finish something you started, you reinforce a belief in yourself that says, I am a person who gets it done. That belief is priceless. Because once you trust yourself to finish, you don't have to get motivated every time. You just get to work. And the reverse is true. And the reverse is true every time you quit. Every time you leave something hanging. Every time you walk away before the job is done. You're teaching yourself that it's okay to stop when it's hard. You're creating a habit of quitting. And that habit will follow you into every single area of your life until you break it. You've got to learn to love the part nobody claps for. The late nights, the early mornings, the lonely hours when nobody's watching. That's where the race is actually won. Because when you're in that quiet space, when it's just you and the grind, that's when you're building the mental toughness that makes you unstoppable. Listen, finishing isn't about talent. It's about fight. It's about that stubborn refusal to let go. It's about saying, I will not stop until this is done. And here's the thing, every time you finish, you carry that momentum forward. The confidence you get from one completed goal makes the next one easier. That's why finishers keep winning. They're stacking victories while everyone else is stacking excuses. People will remember you for how you close, not how you start. Think about it. Nobody talks about the runner who led for the first lap but couldn't make it to the end. Nobody celebrates the business idea that sounded amazing but never launched. Nobody praises the almost finished book, the almost open store, the almost reached dream. The world rewards closer. Finishing takes a different kind of focus. When the excitement wears off and the work feels boring, you've got to dig deeper. You've got to remember why you started in the first place and then push even harder. Because that's where everyone else is slowing down. That's when you've got to hit another gear. Another gear. And here's the truth. Sometimes finishing doesn't even feel glamorous. You might be tired, you might be frustrated, you might not even feel proud in the moment. But once you cross that line, once you look back and say, I did that, it changes everything. It rewires your mind. It strengthens your character. It makes you dangerous in the best way, because now you know you can be trusted with a goal all the way to the end. Start strong, yes, but the secret is to finish stronger, because the finish line isn't just the end of a goal. It's the proof that you have what it takes to see anything through. And once you build that habit, there's no goal in the world that's too big for you. If you want, I can now expand the other 5 key notes from earlier into the same no intro, no ending style, so you get a complete series in this voice. That way, the speech will be a multi-part powerhouse. Finishing builds muscle. Every time you push a goal to the end, you're not just getting the result. You're building strength in your mind, your spirit, and your discipline. You're making yourself heavier in the places that matter. And here's the thing, muscle doesn't grow without resistance. If you think you're gonna get stronger without struggle, you're living in a fantasy. Every goal you complete is like a rep in the gym. You pick it up, you feel the weight, you grind through the pain, and when you finally set it down, boom, you're stronger than you were before. That's why people who finish keep finishing. They've trained that mental muscle so much that seeing something through is their natural response. But most people, they never get strong because they never finish the set. They get halfway through the workout, halfway through the project, halfway through the vision, and they drop it when it burns. And then they wonder why the next time feels just as hard as the last. You didn't build any muscle because you quit before the growth happened. The pain you feel when you're almost done is the proof you're getting stronger. That's when the growth is happening. That's when you're stretching your capacity. That's when your limits are being pushed back. And if you can learn to love that feeling, to see it as the signal that you're on the edge of a breakthrough, you'll become unstoppable. Finishing teaches you endurance. The first time you push through to the end, it might take everything in you. But the second time, you've been there before. Your mind knows the way. Your body remembers the fight. It's like adding weight to the bar. You might struggle with 100 pounds today, but if you keep finishing your sets in time, you'll throw up 200 without thinking about it. This is why small wins matter. Don't ignore them. Every time you finish something, no matter how small, you're stacking strength. You're wiring your brain to expect victory. And once your mind expects victory, you start walking into challenges differently. You're not hoping to make it. You're assuming you will. That's a whole different energy. And here's the truth. Mental muscle is what carries you through when motivation dies. Motivation is like a spark. It burns hot, but it fades quick. Discipline, that's the muscle. That's the thing you've trained by finishing over and over. That's the strength that says, I don't care if I feel like it. I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if nobody's watching. We're finishing this. Every goal you complete raises the ceiling for what you can handle next. That's why you can't skip steps. People want to go from lifting nothing to lifting the world, but it doesn't work like that. You finish the small goals so you're strong enough for the big ones. If you can't handle the discipline to wake up early, how are you going to handle running a company? If you can't finish a 5K, how are you going to finish a marathon? Finishing is progressive overload for your life. And the crazy part? The growth you get from finishing one goal spills into every other area of your life. You finish the project at work, and suddenly you have more patience with your kids. You finish the workout plan, and suddenly you're more confident in your relationships. Strength doesn't stay in one lane. It spreads everywhere. But the only way to build it is to do the reps. And in life, a rep is seeing something all the way through. The deadline, the finish line, the result, that's the full motion. Anything less is a half rep, and half reps don't build champions. So the next time you feel like quitting, remember, you're right in the middle of the rep. You're right at the point where the muscle is growing. If you stop now, you waste all the work you've already put in. But if you finish, you walk away stronger, tougher, and more prepared for the next challenge. Finishing builds muscle. And in this life, muscle wins fights. If you want, I can now hit a small win, stack big victories next with the same punch, so your speech goes seamlessly point to point. Small wins stack big victories. Every finish is a brick, and if you lay enough bricks with consistency, you'll look up one day and realize you've built an empire. But here's the problem. Most people are so obsessed with building the empire overnight that they never take time to lay the first brick right. They want the skyscraper, but they don't want to pick up the trowel. Every big success you've ever seen was just a pile of small wins stacked on top of each other. Nobody wakes up with the perfect body. They wake up, hit the gym when they don't feel like it, eat clean when it's boring, push themselves when no one's watching. That's one brick. They do it the next day, another brick. Keep stacking, and one day people call it a transformation. But you can't skip the bricks. That's where the magic is. You can't jump from dream to reality without going through the grind of small wins. Every single time you finish a task, whether it's as small as making your bed, sending that email, finishing that workout, you're laying a brick. And if you're consistent, those bricks add up. The reason people don't get the big win is because they despise the small ones. They think it doesn't matter if they skip a day. They think nobody will notice if they don't follow through. And they're right, nobody will notice at first. But here's the thing, your empire is either growing or crumbling every single day. And every decision you make is a brick you're laying or a brick you're removing. Small wins matter because they train you to value progress over perfection. You don't have to wait until the big moment to be proud of yourself. Be proud when you get up early. Be proud when you finish the chapter. Be proud when you cross the small things off your list. That's the fuel that keeps you moving when the big goal feels far away. Every small finish is proof that you can follow through. And proof stacks just like bricks. The more proof you collect, the more confidence you have to tackle bigger and bigger goals. You start thinking, I did that, so I can do this. And then you do it again, and again. And before you know it, you turn daily discipline into something people call overnight success. You got to understand, your dream is built in inches, not miles. You want to write a book? Write 1 page a day. That's a brick. You want to run a marathon? Run 1 mile a day. That's a brick. You want to build a business? Make 1 call, send 1 proposal, make 1 sale. That's a brick. Keep laying them, even when they don't look like much yet. Because here's the truth. Empires aren't built in a day, but they are built daily. Every time you finish something you set out to do, you're making your foundation stronger. And strong foundations can hold the weight of big dreams. Weak ones crumble the first time a storm hits. And storms will come. That's why the small wins are so important. They prepare you. If you've been stacking bricks every day, when the hard times hit, you've already built enough to withstand the pressure. You don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to start from scratch. You've got walls, you've got strength, you've got momentum. Don't get caught chasing the finish line of the big goal so hard that you miss the victory of today's win. Because the truth is, every time you finish today's task, you're moving the line forward. You're closer than you were yesterday. And those inches, those daily gains, those small wins, they compound over time into something massive. Small wins stack big victories. Every finished goal, no matter how small, is a brick in your empire. And when you look back years from now, it won't be one giant leap you remember. It'll be all the little steps, all the tiny wins, all the bricks you laid when nobody was watching. If you want, I can keep the momentum and expand the next point. Or quitting destroys confidence, so your speech series keeps hitting without losing energy. Quitting destroys confidence. Every single time you quit, you're not just walking away from the goal. You're training your mind to accept less than you're capable of. You're teaching yourself that it's okay to give up when it's hard. In the moment your brain believes that, you've already lost the fight before it even starts. You've got to understand, your mind is always learning from you. Every decision you make is programming it. When you push through something hard and finish, your mind records that. We keep going no matter what. But when you quit, your mind records that too. When it gets tough, we stop. And the next time it's tough, guess what? That's the file your brain pulls up. Quitting is not just an action, it's a habit. The more you do it, the easier it gets. At first it stings. You feel guilty. You feel like you're self-down. But quit enough times, and you'll stop feeling anything at all. And that's dangerous. That's when you start living below your potential and convincing yourself that it's good enough. Confidence isn't built from talking about what you could do. Confidence is built from proving to yourself over and over that you do what you say you'll do. And quitting is the fastest way to destroy that trust. How can you believe in yourself if you've got a track record of walking away? This is why some people never step into their full power. They've quit so many times they don't even trust themselves to follow through. They start, but in the back of their mind, they're already expecting to quit. And if you expect to quit, you will. You've already given yourself the permission slip. When you quit once, you set a dangerous precedent. You tell yourself, it's okay to stop before the finish. That might feel harmless in the moment. Just this one time, right? But that one-timer starts bleeding into the next challenge. And the next, until quitting becomes your default response to discomfort. But when you refuse to quit, even when it's ugly, even when you're crawling, even when it's taking longer than you planned, you're sending a different message. We finish what we start. And the more you send that message, the more your confidence grows. You start walking into challenges knowing that no matter what happens, you'll find a way to finish. That's real power. Think about it. Quitting and finishing feel the same at the start. Both are hard, both are uncomfortable, both make you want to stop. The difference is what's waiting for you on the other side. Quitting gives you short-term relief and long-term regret. Finishing gives you short-term pain and long-term pride. And pride is what builds confidence. Here's the truth. Confidence is compound interest. Every time you finish, you make a deposit. Every time you quit, you make a withdrawal. And if you keep overdrawing your account, you'll have nothing left when you need it most. That's why you gotta treat quitting like poison. I don't care how small the task is, if you said you'd do it. If you told yourself you'd run for 20 minutes, run for 20 minutes. If you told yourself you'd write 500 words, write 500 words. It's not about the task. It's about the agreement you made with yourself. Because once you let quitting slide in one area, it won't stop there. You quit the workout. Next thing, you're quitting the diet. You quit the side hustle. Next thing, you're quitting the main hustle. Quitting bleeds. It spreads. It infects. And the only way to kill it is to starve it. By finishing every single thing you said you would, no matter how small. Every time you quit, you chip away at the most important asset you have, your belief in yourself. But every time you finish, you stack that belief higher. And when belief is high, there's nothing you can't take on. If you want, I can keep rolling into the next point where your reputation starts with you in the exact same style. So your full speech flows like one unstoppable chain. Your reputation starts with you. People trust finishers, not starters. Anybody can get people hyped by talking about what they're going to do, but respect comes when you deliver consistently. Talk is cheap. Execution is expensive, and the currency of trust is paid in finished work. Your name is a brand, whether you realize it or not. Every single day, you're adding something to that brand. Proof that you deliver or proof that you disappear. And here's the reality. Once people label you as unreliable, you can't talk your way out of it. The only way to rebuild your reputation is to stack enough wins that the proof becomes undeniable. The world is full of starters. Social media is full of starters. People love to announce the new business, the new program, the new vision board. But announcements don't pay bills. Promises don't open doors. Only finished work gets you in the room where opportunities live. When you finish, you send a signal to everyone around you. When I say I'm gonna do something, I mean it. And that signal travels. People talk. They say if they said it, it's as good as done. That's the type of reputation that gets you hired. Gets you promoted, gets you recommended, gets you trusted with bigger opportunities than you've ever imagined. But when you quit, when you disappear, when you fail to follow through, people remember that too. They might smile to your face, but they're thinking they probably won't finish this either. And that doubt closes doors before you even knock. Your reputation doesn't start with how others see you. It starts with how you see yourself. Whoa! If you don't take your own words seriously, you won't expect anyone else to. If you make promises to yourself and break them, why would you keep promises to anyone else? You can't fake being a finisher. You either are or you aren't. Here's the thing. People are watching you even when you think they aren't. Your kids are watching. Your coworkers are watching. Your coworkers are watching. Your friends are watching. They're paying attention to whether you just talk about goals or actually achieve them. And over time, your actions write your story. Finishing builds credibility. Credibility builds trust. And trust is the key to influence. You can't lead without trust. You can't inspire without trust. You can't build anything lasting without trust. And the fastest way to build it is to be the person who always delivers, especially when it's hard. Think about the people you admire. You admire them because when they say they'll do something, they do it. And they've done it over and over until it's not even a question anymore. That's not luck. That's a reputation built brick by brick through consistent execution. And this is where most people lose. It's not that they're incapable of finishing. It's that they think finishing only matters when the goal is big. But finishing anything matters. If you say you'll be somewhere at 8, be there at 8. If you say you'll call back, call back. If you say you'll send the email, send the email. These are the small daily finishes that create the track record people trust. Here's the truth. Your next big opportunity is already connected to your current reputation. Before someone hands you a project, a position, or a partnership, they're asking themselves one question: can they deliver? If your history says yes, doors open. If your history says no, those doors stay shut, and you may never even know they were there. That's why you've got to treat every goal, every promise, every commitment as a chance to add weight to your name. Protect your reputation like it's gold, because in this world it is. You can lose money and make it back. You can lose time and find more. But if you lose trust, if you lose credibility, it can take years to rebuild, and some doors may never open for you again. People trust finishers, not starters. Be the one who delivers every single time until your name alone guarantees that when you start something, it will be finished. If you want, I can now finish the final point of finishing unlocks the next level, so your entire 6-point speech is complete and ready to go in one powerful flow. Finishing unlocks the next level. The prize is never at the starting line. It's always in the finish. You can talk all day about wanting more, wanting growth, wanting to level up, but you can't skip the process. You don't get the upgrade just for showing up. You get it when you finish what you started. The starting line is full of energy, it's full of hype. Everybody's excited there. But the starting line doesn't test you, it doesn't stretch you, it doesn't change you. The finish line, that's where the real transformation happens. That's where you've been through the pain, the boredom, the setbacks, and you've come out the other side stronger, sharper, and ready for more. People wonder why their life feels stuck on the same level. It's because they've got a trail of unfinished goals behind them. And life doesn't promote you until you pass the test you're on. If you can't finish the current challenge, you're not ready for the next one. Finishing is proof. It's the evidence that you've mastered what's in front of you. And when you master something, life hands you a bigger responsibility, a bigger opportunity, a bigger reward. But if you walk away halfway through, you're telling the universe, I can't handle more than this. And the universe listens. Every time you finish, you're earning keys. Keys that open doors you couldn't even see before. You finish the small project, suddenly you're trusted with the big one. You finish the side hustle, suddenly you've got the skills to run a full-time business. You finish the workout program, suddenly your body and mind are prepared for challenges you never thought you could face. The finish line is where the shift happens. You start with ideas, but you finish with results. You start with potential, but you finish with proof. And proof is the ticket to the next level. Think of it like a game. You can't skip to level 10 without beating level 1. And each level has its own challenges, its own lessons, its own struggles. You've got to face them, conquer them, and finish them before you move forward. If you cheat your way through, you're gonna hit a wall later, and it'll send you right back to where you quit. Finishing doesn't just open new opportunities, it also prepares you for them. The process you go through to finish is the training ground for what's next. If you're building a business, finishing teaches you how to handle pressure, how to make decisions, how to stay disciplined when it's boring. If you're training for a race, finishing teaches you how to pace yourself, how to push through fatigue, how to keep going when every part of your body wants to stop. The starting line gives you adrenaline. The finish line gives you strength, and strength is what you need for the next challenge. Most people don't fail because they're not capable. They fail because they leave before the breakthrough. They walk away when it's uncomfortable, not realizing that the discomfort is the last barrier between them and the next level. You're closer than you think when it feels the hardest. That's the moment to dig in, not to step out. And when you finish, it changes how you see yourself. You don't just see someone who tries, you see someone who completes. That identity shift is everything, because the next time you face a challenge, you've got a record in your mind that says, we've been here before and we finished. That's the confidence that makes you dangerous in the best way possible. The next level isn't about luck. It's not about talent. It's about proof. And finishing is the proof that you can be trusted with more. Now that all 6 points are done, I can stitch them into one continuous powerhouse speech so it reads and flows like one unstoppable Eric Thomas-style delivery. Want me to put them together into the full piece? No soft intros, no slow build, just punch after punch from start to finish. The secret power of finishing your goal: start strong, finish stronger. Anybody can start, anybody can get hyped, talk big, post about their new goal. But champions, they remember because they crossed the finish line. The starting line is exciting. It's fresh, it's loud, people are clapping. But listen to me, there are no medals for almost. There's no trophy for being off to a great start. You don't get remembered for what you began. You get remembered for what you completed. Starting takes motivation, but finishing, that takes discipline. Anybody can sprint when it's easy. But what about when it's mile 10 and your legs feel like concrete? What about the nights when you're exhausted? The mornings when the alarm clock feels like the enemy? That's where most people quit. That's the separation. That's where you decide, am I just another starter or am I built to finish? Finishing builds muscle. Every goal you complete is a rep for your mind. You pick up the weight, you push through, and when you're done, you're stronger. Most people never get strong because they never finish the set. They quit when it hurts. And when you quit before the pain, you quit before the growth. The discomfort you feel at the end is the proof you're growing. That's where the mental muscle gets built. The muscle that carries you when motivation dies. Small wins stack big victories. Every finish is a brick. And brick by brick, you build an empire. But everybody wants a skyscraper without laying the first brick. You want the big moment. It's hidden inside 1,000 little finishes nobody sees. Every time you make the call, hit the gym, write the page, you're laying a brick. Do it long enough, and one day people call it success. But don't you dare despise the small wins. They are the only path to the big win. Quitting destroys confidence. Every time you quit, you teach your mind that you can't be trusted. You train yourself to accept less than you're capable of. And the next time it gets hard, your brain will remember. This is where we stop. But finishing builds belief. It tells your mind, but we keep going no matter what. That's the kind of trust in yourself that makes you dangerous in the best way possible. Your reputation starts with you. People trust finishers, not starters. Your name is your brand, and every time you finish, you add weight to it. When people know you deliver, they recommend you, they hire you, they bet on you. When you quit, they remember that too. Your next big opportunity is tied to the reputation you've been building in the dark. And if that reputation says you don't finish, the doors stay closed. Finishing unlocks the next level. The prize is never at the starting line. It's always in the finish. You don't level up by talking about it. You level up by proving you can master the challenge you're in. Life won't hand you the next stage until you pass this one. Every finish earns you a key. Keys that open doors you didn't even know existed. The start gives you adrenaline. The finish gives you strength. And strength is what you need for what's coming next. This is the truth. The secret power of finishing your goals isn't just in the achievement. It's in the identity it builds. Finishers walk differently. They talk differently. They approach every challenge knowing, if I start it, I will finish it. And when you live like that, there's no goal, no dream, no level you can't reach.